Trial is opening up. People keep making this all about Diddy rather than looking at everything that's happening around people that want to.
With the Diddy trial finally unfolding and drawing massive attention, it's frustrating how much of the conversation stays laser focused on Diddy himself, almost like everyone's missing the bigger picture. There are so many layers here, involving folks who seem desperate to shield him and his so-called agenda, not out of loyalty, but because staying quiet keeps their own interests intact. These people, according to whispers and allegations swirling around, might be just as tangled up in the mess as accomplices, benefiting from the silence that lets the whole operation slide under the radar. It's like a web where protecting one thread means holding the entire structure together. And now that it's starting to fray, the real questions are bubbling up about who else knew, who participated, and why the full scope of accountability feels so elusive. Take Jaguar Wright. For instance, she's thrust right back into the spotlight after Diddy's sentencing to 4 years behind bars. Last year, when the Cassie lawsuit against Diddy exploded into public view, splashed across CNN screens for the world to digest, Jaguar was already sounding alarms that few wanted to hear. She was out there early, one of the very first to blow the whistle on what she described as Diddy's predatory patterns, his manipulative grip on the industry, and the way he allegedly terrorized those around him. Long before the raids, the arrests, or the endless headlines, she was piecing together the puzzle in interviews and social media rants, naming names and connecting dots that made people uncomfortable. And when Diddy's arrest finally hit, she genuinely believed it marked the beginning of the end for his reign of fear. She pictured justice served raw and unfiltered, the kind that sends a message. Do you recall that fiery clip where she laid it all out, her voice cracking with raw emotion? She didn't mince words about wanting to see him in handcuffs, dragged through the perp walk like so many others who faced the system's full glare. "I want the twisty ties," she said, her tone laced with a mix of fury and vindication. "I want him on the ground. I want people putting his head into the car. I want that. That's what they did to the kids." She paused, letting the weight sink in, then added, "Yeah, there's never been an image of Diddy in handcuffs. No, we need that. We need that. I need that perp walk." It wasn't just theater. It was a cry for visibility, for the kind of public reckoning that could signal to survivors everywhere that the fortress was crumbling. She envisioned that moment as a beacon, something she could point to while reaching out to victims still hiding in the shadows. "So as I keep reaching out to victims," she continued, "I can let them know it's safe to come outside. But here's the gut punch. Is it truly safe? That's the question hanging heavy now, especially after the justice system seemed to dangle hope, only to yank it away. Victims who stepped forward, bearing their souls and reliving nightmares on the stand, watched as the process dragged them through the mud, exposing intimate horrors to a judgmental world, only for Diddy to walk away with a sentence that feels more like a slap on the wrist. You can't help but wonder if Cassie, the brave one who kicked off this domino effect with her lawsuit, doesn't wake up some nights regretting the details she had to share. The world knows now about the degradation she endured, the humiliation of being urinated on by strangers under his direction, the psychological chains he wrapped around her life. Those aren't just tabloid fodder. They're scars that don't fade with a courtroom victory. And yet, the system played them all, turning private trauma into public spectacle without delivering the closure that matches the crime. It's a betrayal that echoes far beyond one case, highlighting how the powerful often skate by while the vulnerable pay the emotional toll. Jaguar's been vocal about this letdown, urging more survivors to speak despite the risks, but even she can't ignore the chill it casts over potential whistleblowers. Why risk everything if the payoff is a plea deal or a reduced term that lets the enablers keep scheming in the background? This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about the machinery that propped him up, the industry insiders, the celebrity hangers-on, and the gatekeepers who turned a blind eye because complicity came with perks, deals, invites, status. They're the ones who make it all about Diddy, deflecting from their roles. But cracks are showing, and Jaguar's not about to let them seal back up. Thankfully, she's doubling down, refusing to back off Diddy or the circle of associates she claims enabled his freak-off parties and worse. These gatherings, as detailed in lawsuits and her own accounts, weren't spontaneous bashes, but orchestrated events fueled by drugs, coercion, and a blatant disregard for consent. She's starting her renewed crusade with Meek Mill, a name she's been dragging through the mud for years, accusing him of being far more than just a casual collaborator. According to Jaguar, Meek was Diddy's boy toy, entangled in a dynamic that went way beyond professional respect. She first floated these claims ages ago, but they gained traction when a leaked audio tape surfaced, courtesy of Diddy's former bodyguard, painting a graphic, disturbing picture. The recording allegedly captured Diddy in an aggressive encounter with Meek at one of those infamous parties. Meek's screams of agony cutting through the haze like a siren. It's the kind of audio that's too visceral to replay casually. I won't embed it here out of sheer decency, but a quick search in the murkier corners of the internet will turn it up if you're inclined. The rawness of it, the power imbalance laid bare, turned whispers into roars. And it didn't stop there. As if the tape wasn't damning enough, an old video of Meek lounging by a pool resurfaced, his posture drawing snickers and speculation. In the clip, he's chatting casually, calling out to someone off camera. "Hey, what's up, King's son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you." Yeah, but online sleuths zeroed in on his body language, the slight arch of his back, the way he seemed submerged just enough to soothe something unseen. Theories flew that he was cooling off after a particularly intense session with Diddy, his cheeks literally burning from the ordeal. It's the sort of armchair analysis that thrives in scandal seasons, blending humor with horror. But it underscores how these allegations stick, festering in the cultural memory. Jaguar didn't stop at Meek, though. In a sprawling interview that dropped bombs like confetti, she alleged that Diddy's appetites extended to even more unexpected figures, like Bishop T.D. Jakes. For years, rumors had circulated about the bishop's close ties to Diddy, their shared appearances at events, the spiritual counsel Jakes reportedly offered during Diddy's low points. Jaguar took it further, claiming Jakes served as Diddy's power bottom for an extended stretch, willingly or not, entangled in the same web of parties and power plays. The accusations drew fire because of Jakes' public persona as a moral authority, but Jaguar pointed to concrete overlaps, like their 2021 partnership announcement. Diddy was set to host Jakes' sermons on Revolt TV, a move that raised eyebrows even then. During a live segment, Diddy got candid about his gratitude, crediting Jakes for pulling him from despair. "Go," Diddy started, his voice thick with emotion. "I mean, even before 3 years ago, I was going through a dark period of my life. You know, I just lost everything. You know what I'm saying? My girlfriend, my children passed, my best friend Andre Harrell passed. A lot of things that just really was taking my mind and my soul I was just in a dark place. I started like watching you and listening to you. It gave me hope, gave me strength when you start." The music swelled in the background, but to skeptics, it sounded less like redemption and more like a veiled transaction, a spiritual cover for something sinister. These claims aren't isolated. They feed into a narrative Jaguar's been building about Diddy's family too, insisting his sons, Christian and Justin Combs, carry the same toxic legacy. She didn't hold back, accusing them of assaulting a woman named Love Jones. In a live session with Storm Monroe, Love opened up about a harrowing night last summer in a Sprinter van with the brothers, blacked out and disoriented. "Monroe was live today with a young woman I think y'all need to reach out to," Jaguar shared. "She's a subscriber of her channel, but she's also a content creator here on YouTube. She has over 50K subscribers. Her name is Love Jones." Today, Love Jones sat with Storm Monroe, and she talked about being with the Combs brothers last summer in a Sprinter, and she don't remember where they took her. Okay, the boys, right? And apparently, they assaulted her. Her body tingled all over and the details trailed off. But the implication was clear. More than one brother was involved, and the aftermath left her reeling. Jaguar framed it as proof that the apple doesn't fall far, that Diddy's influence warped his kids into mirrors of his worst impulses.